Scott, you're joining us in Denver for the CIO Roundtable with fellow chief investment officers on everything from macro uncertainty to emerging technologies. Can you give us a sneak peek into what you're planning to bring to that conversation?
Yeah, I know our panel is going to be interested in talking about global public equity after a run of, real strong run in equity markets over the last 3 years. I think we all have concerns making sure that we're properly allocated, proper portfolio construction with that portfolio, going into another year. It may or may not be another strong year. That would be something we'll talk about. For our plan in particular, this year we're taking a look at our hedge fund. We have two portfolios of hedge fund portfolios, taking a look at maybe consolidating those two together and redoing portfolio construction there. I think in the same vein as global public equity, taking risk down a little bit, kind of your beta exposure of that down a little bit and rethinking about some of our strategies there. We're a heavy private markets institution, heavy allocation to private equity, real estate, real assets. We continue to do so and plan to do so, pacing into that this year, even given the challenges, which I know we'll talk about, with private equity in particular, the lack of or slow distributions coming out of that class and some challenges, I think legitimately, of whether, those strategies can generate the alpha that they have in the past.
Scott, you're managing assets for fire and police, people who put their lives on the line. Does that sense of responsibility change how you think about risk and portfolio construction compared to, say, other institutional investors?
Certainly, it's a very feel-good organization to serve those types of members. And we have, as a staff, and certainly an entire staff, have lots of opportunities to interact with, our members. And you're certainly well aware of the jobs that they do and the difficulty that they have in doing their work. As far as how that translates into what we do differently for portfolio construction or managing risk, one, the fire and policemen they tend to than normal retirees, and they tend to get injured more on the job. And so we have to plan on the liability side to accommodate for that. I guess not necessarily fire and police, but we're a younger plan. We're only about 40 years old, and that's young in public plan world. And so we have more active members than we do retirees by a long shot. And so that creates a liquidity profile, meaning we can handle a lot of illiquidity in our portfolio that might be different for those types of members. But outside of that, once you get the liability side kind of nailed down, and then it's pretty similar to other institutions of how you manage, risks and an asset allocation according to that.
Interesting. And we're really looking forward to seeing you speak in Denver. Can you tell me, Scott, what are you personally looking forward to in attending the forum?
Yeah, you never know until you leave, but I always look forward to just a few tidbits of, a different investment strategy or a different group that I was, unaware of, or something to, different way to look at it. And I always call a conference a success if I can walk away with two or three things that can make me think about how to do a portfolio different. But probably the most thing that I look forward to is just interacting with my peers, talking about best practices. We all face very similar issues, and to hear different ways that people approach problems is always helpful.
Wonderful. Well, we're certainly looking forward to having you. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me, Scott.